What brings you back to the great American race?
Well, I think it's fantastic. It's great for the country. Our country is doing well again, and we have spirit all over the world. There's spirit again.
Daytona International Speedway and the Friends family. We'd like to welcome the 44th and 27th President of the United States.
So we have another case study today of Democrats trying to argue that Trump is unpopular, right? Nobody likes him. He's lost his widespread popularity. Even his own voters are turning on him. This is a talking point you've been hearing a lot, despite the fact I'm still yet to see a single Trump voter who supposedly has turned his back on him. But nonetheless, they're basically arguing, no, believe us. It's definitely happening. Okay, I'll believe that when I actually see the evidence and you're not just literally making things up. But nonetheless, let's also keep in mind, as we talk, of course, about NASCAR here, that this is coming from the party of Let's Go Brandon. Okay, these are the people trying to tell us that we are currently unpopular in America. I don't know if it really checks out.
Chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you
Yeah, well, what a difference a couple of years makes, guys. If you're enjoying the content, please do us a big favor. Make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. Subscribing is the best way to support our work, so make sure you hit that red button. And I think it's important to understand the situation we are currently in, because this is not just about Daytona 500. This is about the argument over Trump's popularity. Again, they keep telling us that Trump is so unpopular. He goes to the Super Bowl, gets massively cheered. He goes to the Daytona 500, gets massively cheered. And even in their beloved pollsters, President Trump, as we're seeing, is actually pretty widely popular. And for historical context here, 3 weeks into their second term, let's compare Trump to their hero, Barack Obama. And don't get me wrong, I think credit is due where it's due. And Barack Obama, objectively, was probably like the last competent and successful leader that Democrats had. I don't mean to say that he was a successful president. I strongly disagree with his presidency, but it is true Obama was widely liked, especially when he first got elected, right? He sort of was a magnanimous political force, and he deserves credit for that. So you may be surprised, maybe not, to find out that second term approval ratings 3 weeks into their second term, Donald Trump in 2025 is actually more popular than Barack Obama is, or was, I should say, back in 2013. As you can see, this time in history, Trump currently has in the CBS YouGov poll, which, let's remember, not exactly the most Trump-friendly pollster, but check it out, 53% approval rating right now. Obama, at this time back in 2013, only had a 52% approval rating. So we're doing better than their idol and hero, Barack Obama. But still, what is the argument? Trump is widely unpopular. Yeah, doesn't really ring true. And it goes further than that, because, of course, while these Democrats try to claim that, again, Trump is, disliked and everyone's turning on him, all of this, I think they need a reality check with their own party, because as you can see, the very people right now trying to tell us that we do not have the support or the mandate of the American people. Not only did they lose the popular vote in November for the first time in 20 years, but on top of that, according to Quinnipiac, here's where the Democrat Party currently stands. In today's poll, 31% of voters, only 31%, have a favorable opinion of the Democratic Party. 57% of Americans have an unfavorable opinion. They disapprove of the party. This is the highest percentage of voters having an unfavorable opinion of the Democrat Party since Quinnipiac University poll began asking this question. So that is right. The Democrats currently have their lowest favorability opinion in history. But we're going to sit here and pretend and listen to their moral lectures about how we don't have the mandate. Yeah, give me a break.
Our CBS poll finds that a majority of Americans, 53%, approve of the job he's doing. That's a better approval number than he ever reached during his first term in the White House. Joining us with more is our Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Good to see you, Anthony. What's driving this?
I will keep it simple, Margaret. He is doing, in the eyes of the public, what he said he would do in the campaign. There's political value in that. In fact, 70% of people say he's doing what he promised. That's whether they approve of him or not. Now, there's another part of this that continues over from the campaign. There were words that he was described as being tough, being energetic, and he still is today in big majority numbers. So as people take a look in these first few weeks, there's been a lot of activity. They're getting that general sense of governance, and that's being reflected in these early numbers.
So that's perception. What about the actual policies?
Well, let's start with the ones that are popular. And again, these echo a lot of what we saw in the campaign. The idea of deporting those in the country illegally continues to be popular. We saw that in the campaign. Sending troops to the U.S.-Mexico border. Again, majority in favor. We'd seen that in the campaign. For his supporters in particular, the focus on ending DEI is popular. We had seen in the campaign a lot of them thought those processes had gone too far.
You know, it probably helped Democrats to shut up for like 2 seconds here. You know, they could maybe admit, if not publicly, at least to themselves, that they did lose a massive mandate to President Trump. They are the most unpopular they've ever been in history. And maybe they should kind of stop and think about it. But of course, that is not what they are doing. They're resorting to the same old tricks, except the same old tricks are not working anymore. And the best they can muster are very low energy protests in the streets with absolutely no political power to back it up. And again, I think you can see out in the real world, we're about to compare this to Daytona 500, the difference between a 53% approval rating versus a 31% approval rating for the Democrat Party.
You see the location here, the setting here? We're starting to see an upsurge in protests targeting Tesla dealerships at Tesla charging stations in the bitter cold up in Waterville, Maine. At a Tesla dealership showroom thing in Manhattan. Elon Musk is not my president. This is a coup. Take away the keys from Elon. Don't buy swastikars. This one in Ohio, in Columbus.
O-H-I-O! Elon Musk has got to go!
You could see the signs in Columbus as people turned out to protest against Elon Musk and his role in the Trump administration. Delete Musk. This one, just the word Elon with a big F in front of it. Elon Musk's personal wealth has dropped $42 billion this month as shares of Tesla have started to fall off a cliff.
Whoa, guys, there's 12 people protesting outside of a Tesla dealership. Put a camera out there. Put a camera out there. Okay. So that's the Democrats, claiming that they're doing so well right now. Of course, people are rising up across America. There's 10 people protesting. People protest anything. Okay, really? That's the best argument you have. So there's what they're doing right now. That's what their party's up to. Now, here was President Trump at the Daytona 500. You can hear the crowd erupting into cheers. 100,000 people there. And I think, you can probably start to see the difference here between our side and their side. Take a listen.
Down to the Daytona 500. Where the man in the red cap, the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, saluting the crowd and the drivers. And would you believe, got a little spin. You heard Madison Scarpino talking about this. Took a little spin around the track. It's his chance to, for the second time in as many weeks, I think it was just a couple of weeks, that he's had a chance to take in major sporting events. Of course, he went down to New Orleans for the Super Bowl and was warmly received. And as you can well imagine, a similar situation played out at the Daytona 500. It is not, by the way, his first time attending the Great American Race. He actually did so back in 2020. So it's a chance for him to reconnect, not just with voters and Americans who are taking in the big Great American Race, but also a chance to once again promote that this is an active administration, and he wants to prove that each and every day by being out there. As we take a good close look.
Okay, so where were the boos? Where were the boos? Because I didn't hear them, Democrats. And of course, you might make the excuse, oh, but that's NASCAR, right? Republicans watch NASCAR. We know the demographics. Come on now, Vince. Don't be disingenuous. No, I'm not being disingenuous, actually. Because the argument I've been hearing from the Democrats is not just that the liberals are like fired up to resist him, but it's also been that the Trump supporters are regretting their vote. Right? All these people are now so upset at him. And, you have widespread turning on him within the ranks. And the Trump people are not happy that they voted for him. Okay, well, where is that? That's your best little poll right there. That's your best little, honestly, test of it. Okay, if the MAGA base is supposedly so fed up and done with Trump, then let's go to NASCAR and see what happens. Oh, everyone is cheering him? Clearly, then, that's not really working. Democrats, let me just say, I know you guys may have forgotten because you haven't had it since about 2008, but that is what widespread popularity looks like. Widespread popularity is a stadium of 150,000 people cheering your name. And let me just say, I cannot imagine being the other side. I cannot imagine being a liberal right now because, like, the difference, the contrast, even in the optics of what we have versus what they have, forget the policies, they're important. But at the end of the day, when you look at it in 2025, our side is cool and the other side is just lame and weird, okay? Because, I mean, think about the optics of it. You have the presidential limousine leading a parade ceremonial lap of all the NASCARs, okay? Just like American V8s roaring past. I mean, it's so freaking cool. It's probably the most right-wing thing ever. And then what do they have? Down with Elon Musk, 10 people. Oh, and then you have Chuck Schumer going, we will win. We will win. So we have this, right? We have the presidency. We have the president leading like the comeback, I guess, of the American V8 and gasoline and the auto industry and all the cool things they tried to get rid of. And they have 10 people outside of Tesla. By the way, to add insult to injury, I'm just going to add this in because I think it was pretty funny. Last night was the Team USA versus Team Canada hockey game, and Justin Trudeau was in attendance as the Canadian audience booed the American national anthem. Obviously, a little bit of a rivalry going on right now between our two nations. But the funniest part of it all is America, Team USA, ended up beating Canada in their own sport of hockey. Kind of funny to see.
All right, sing with me, everybody. Are you ready?
I mean, with sincerely all due respect to the sportsmanship of the Canadian hockey team, no wonder you lost. You had Justin Trudeau in the audience, okay? And it was a pretty funny sight to see because within like the first 10 seconds of the hockey game, Team USA just started a fight in the game, and then they end up winning it. So, pretty hilarious, pretty good to laugh at. But again, I'm still going to sit around and ask the question, where is this supposed loss of popularity for Trump? Well, guys, I want to show you this to close out today's video. This is an article from BuzzFeed that tries to basically make the assertion that a bunch of Trump voters are fed up because, the Trump voters are so mad that Trump is cutting down on the federal government and getting rid of USAID and things like that. And their proof is hilarious. So they tried to quote a bunch of Trump supporters. And the funny part about it is that the only people who are criticizing Trump are all quote unquote anonymous. In other words, they made it up. You don't know who is saying it. This BuzzFeed writer probably wrote it in himself, and it's just so funny to see. So check this out from Ashley Holt over at BuzzFeed. Trump supporters shared how he could lose their support, and there's one issue that's very important for him. And you see this quote right here, right? They're trying to make this argument. We didn't vote for my husband to lose his government career and benefits. And just to get an idea, look at this editor's note right here. Throughout this post, respondents use anti-LGBTQ+, anti-immigrant, and racist language. We felt it was important to reflect these responses as written, but acknowledge that this is incorrect and harmful language. Well, that gives you a strong idea of what you're about to see right here. Okay, so getting right here. So here's what, firstly, a quote from Anonymous, okay? Continue disregarding the laws of this country. We elected a president, not a king. So let's keep in mind, that is supposedly a Trump supporter, someone who voted for Trump and is now turning their back on him And you probably read that quote and think to yourself, that's not really what a Trump supporter would say. That quote sounds like it came right out of MSNBC. Well, you would be correct because, again, this quote comes from who? Anonymous. Okay, we go on here. Trump lost my support on Inauguration Day when he could not move the country forward by providing optimism, positivity, and hopefulness to the United States. Trump presented as a threat right away, and I know voting for him was a big mistake. And guys, care to take a guess? You're correct. That post comes from Anonymous. Okay, they're just making stuff up. They're literally just making stuff up. I've been asking this question. Where are all these Trump supporters who are supposedly so fed up and done with him? Well, there you go. Apparently Anonymous, guys. You know, you have a blue-haired Democrat typing this behind the scenes. Yeah, look at this, guys. All the Trump supporters are changing their minds. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. Here you go, another one. I am from West Virginia, and his recent freeze of federal programs hurt my family and many friends. He has lost my support already. Guess who it's coming from? Ladies and gentlemen, yet again, Anonymous. Here's another one. We voted for border security. We did not vote for my husband to lose his government career and benefits for which he has worked so hard. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, coming from Anonymous. How stupid do you think we are? I understand it's BuzzFeed and it's just like low IQ bait for the dumbest people in our society, but nonetheless, are you serious? I kid you not. You go through this article, every single person who is like trashing Trump, and some of them are, you know, in support of Trump, obviously, but every single negative comment, I kid you not, literally comes from Anonymous. Okay, you have the same person writing all. Give me a break. It is just so ridiculous. But yeah, point being here, Trump is not losing his popularity. He's doing pretty well. You can see that in the polls. You can see that every time he goes out and about, like the Super Bowl or Daytona 500. And truly, it is the Democrats who are in massive political trouble because this is the best that they can muster. It's pathetic. All right, with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.